Hello students. Today we shall talk about regulation of gene expression. You know, in case of eukaryotic cells or even in prokaryotic cells, the flow of information takes place in similar manner, DNA to RNA and RNA to protein. So we've got certain checkpoints that ensures that gene expression can be regulated. Let's say, how does it take place? In case of eukaryotes, gene expression can be regulated at certain checkpoints. Either there can be checkpoint at the level of transcription or at the level of post-transcriptional modification or at the level of transport of that messenger RNA or at translational level, or you can say post-translational modification level. In case of prokaryote, we can have a checkpoint at transcription level. So it was studied by Jacob and Monod in E. coli, where they found that the preferred carbon source happens to be glucose. But when the medium was enriched with lactose, there was a particular operon that started. So let us have a look at how this operon works. Gene regulation is a very interesting concept, and definitely we shall be able to define operon, enumerate the composition of operon, roles of various gene, and explain the process of gene regulation in this case. You must be aware about genetic code, the process of transcription, type of RNAs and enzymes. As you can find here out, there are certain amount of information depicted here out. DNA forms the RNA by transcription, then the processing and further transport and translation. So let me take a pen tool for you to make it clear. So there are two types of genes. One gene is called constitutive genes or housekeeping gene that functions every time, just like housekeeping services. Irrespective of any need, it has to function every time. There are some non-constitutive genes or luxury genes that functions only when it is needed. So gene regulation can be positive or inducible, right? Which is normally switch off, but switched on when inducer is introduced to the system. Or it can be negative or repressible, which is normally switch on and it is switched off when the inducer is, when the substrate is introduced. So as you can see here out, gene regulation can be at the various level: DNA packaging level, transcription factors, post-transcription, translation, and post-translation. These are various steps. So the photograph depicts two gentlemen, Francois Jacob and Jacques Monod. They worked on the concept of lac operon, and they formulated the famous operon hypothesis, for which they were awarded Nobel Prize in 1965. They proposed E. coli will only synthesize enzyme if and when it is appropriate to do so, and proposed the operon model in 1961. So what is an operon? Operon is a single transcriptional unit that includes a series of structural genes, a promoter and an operator. So you can find here out, there is a regulator gene, there is a promoter, operator, and structural genes. As you know, we are talking about prokaryote, so gene here is a polycistronic. There is no split in between. You see here out, it consists of a regulator, promoter, operator, and structural genes. There are certain definitions that you must understand. So structural genes are those genes that control actual protein production and that gives the amino acid sequence. In lac operon, there are three structural gene components: gene Z, which codes for beta galactosidase, Y that codes for permease, and A that codes for trans-acetylase. Operator gene, part of an operon that controls the activity of one or more structural gene. That's operator. Just like you have got operator at many places. So it is a site where the repressor comes and binds. If operator is somehow indulged or involved or blocked, then the whole transcription can be stopped. Promoter gene, a part of operon, it is a nucleotide sequence to which RNA polymerase binds. Place where RNA polymerase comes and binds so that it's the starting point and initiates transcription. Comes, binds, wait for the operator to give a signal to move. Regulator gene, the gene that controls the function of operator gene. So it produces a protein called as repressor protein that blocks the RNA polymerase binding site on operator gene, right? We'll see in details how does it work. We are very much aware about the central dogma concept. So lac operon is an inducible operon. You find here out what happens. Normally the operon is switched off. This is the indicative I. This I gene does not represent inducer, rather it is repressor, right? Inhibitor. It produces repressor mRNA that produces a repressor molecule, right? And repressor molecule in turn will go and bind with the operator, and thereby it can regulate the transcription. Let us see how it happens. In absence of an inducer, when the inducer is not present, normally glucose is the preferred carbon source for E. coli. So in normal condition, what is happening? The I gene forms repressor mRNA, repressor protein is formed, it binds with the operator, and hence there is no possibility for DNA-dependent RNA polymerase to transcribe structural genes. So repressor binds to operator gene and prevents RNA polymerase from transcribing the operon. But the condition changes. When there is a low concentration of glucose, then little amount of lactose gets inside the cell because this operon works at a smaller level. So now the second option, lactose, has to be utilized, right? So what will happen now? Now lactose, when enters the bacterial system, lactose or allolactose, that binds the repressor and inactivates it. So now this repressor is no longer available to bind with the operator. Operator sets free, DNA polymerase comes here and it starts transcribing the structural gene ZYA, forming lac mRNA. The beta galactosidase form from Z component, Y component forms permease and trans-acetylase accordingly. You can see here out how does this takes place. So it's all about controlling the transcription, right? So now we can have the type of control. We have got negative inducible. So transcription normally is off, and regulator protein, it's active repressor. Effect of regulator protein, it inhibits transcription. So action of the modulator, substrate makes the repressor inactive. Let us recapitulate. So every cell maintains an economy of resources. A cell will produce a protein enzyme when it is required. Hence, the regulation of gene expression is precisely controlled. An operon is a regulatory unit that consists of promoter, operator, and structural genes. Lac operon is one example of such regulation studied by Jacob Monod in E. coli. And it consists of promoter, operator, and 3 structural gene, ZYA. Normally, lac operon remains switch off due to binding of repressor protein on operator region. The repressor protein is produced by another gene called as I gene. Now, presence of lactose can only turn on the operon. That's why lactose is termed as inducer. So few lactose, allolactose molecule, the isomeric form, enters the cell and binds with the repressor protein, making it inactive. Now, when the repressor is inactive, the operon is turned on. the structural genes Z, Y, A, and transcribed and translated to respective enzymes. That's how it goes on. So hope the concept of lac operon must be very, very clear. We'll meet back again in the next video with some more concepts and conceptual understanding of Human Genome Project. Till then, read the text, attempt the question, prepare hard, and gear up for best result in your examination.